Live.
All right. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Paradyme Podcast. We're so grateful that you're here. In today's episode, we're going to be discussing books 13 through 16 of the Iliad, written by Homer. Before we jump into the content, we want to remind you to like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that little notification bell so you're updated every time we put up a new episode. Follow us on all our social media platforms. All the information you need will be down in the description box below. And if you're reading along with us, drop a comment down below. What's been your favorite book so far? We'd love to engage with you down in the comment section. So, like I said, this week we read books 13 through 16, and we are continuing with our kind of visual exploration. Each of us are getting a book. So Devin is book 13, I'm 14, David's 15, and John's 16. So let's go ahead and jump into book 13 with Devin. And if you could tell us if you've done anything new with your visuals or kind of your approach to your presentation.
Yeah, same thing, same style. Nothing really changed. I'm really sticking with the image and reading it out loud, voice narration. I did add two different, technically it's the same element, but there's two different maps, just to see if this component helps with people that are watching, because it helped me visually understand almost like a landscape of what the map would look like an overhead map. So I put that in my slide, and then we'll be able to see that a few slides in. But I'll go ahead and share my screen now.
Awesome.
Start.
I love that idea, dude. A good map. Love that. Love that.
All right. You guys can see it, correct?
Yes.
All right, sweet. Make sure this works. All right, cool. All right, closing out book 12. Sarpedion breaches the Greek wall with bare hands while rallying Glaucus with the poem's most famous argument for courage. We feast like kings, so we fight like kings, but because death is coming for everyone. Anyway, the battle deadlocks until Zeus gives Hector the edge. He hurls a boulder so massive modern man couldn't lift it, smashing the gates wide open. So now we enter book 3. Book 13. Jove looks away from the battle, confident that no other god will intervene. He's wrong. Neptune has been watching the slaughter from peak of Samothrace, furious at the Greeks being crushed, and he's coming down. Neptune storms down the mountain in 3 strides, yokes his golden chariot, and rides across the sea. He parks his horses underwater cavern and walks into the Greeks' camp disguised as prophet Callias, finding the 2 Ajaxes and filling them with fire. Neptune strikes both Ajaxes with staff and fills their divine power. Ajax's son Iliad recognizes the god and knows how he moves and walks, and tells other Ajax, "That was no mortal. I could feel the battle lust burning fiercer in me now." Neptune moves through the rear of the camp, rousing the broken soldiers. The picked fighters of both Ajaxes form a living fence, spear to spear, shield to shield, helmet to helmet, so tight their horse chariot chest touch. The Trojans advance in dense mass behind Hector, smashing through everything until he hits level ground and stops. He slams into the tight-packed battalions, and both Ajaxes thrust at him from both sides until he staggers and gives ground. Husser kills the warrior Imbrius, and 2 Ajaxes strip his body like lions, snatching a goat from hounds. The son of Iliad cuts off Imbrius' head and bowls it through the dust to land at Hector's feet. Neptune is enraged that his grandson Primicius has been killed. He storms through the camp disguised as Theos and finds Idomeneus, the Cretan king. Goading him back into the fight, Medeus heads back to his tent to arm up, still burning for battle. So here we'll have one of the maps. So we have an overview of what the map would look like currently, because there's another section where they talk about where the Archaeans are actually winning on one side of the offense or defense, technically on their left wing. And I think the maps are a little skewed, and we'll see that like down here on the next map, it's a little bit different from where the Greek wall was currently at. But essentially, you have Neptune supporting from the sea, and the other gods. It seems like they don't know how much Neptune's actually supporting them based on how much ground the Archaeans are actually gaining back. And then the Trojans are actually dominating on one side, and then they start to lose some of their power. The left wing we'll get into. Idomeneus and Meriones march to war together like Mars himself going into battle with his son Panic. They head for the left wing where the Greeks are weakest. The big picture, Zeus favors the Trojans. Neptune secretly works the other side, and neither god will back down. They tied a knot of war that's grinding both armies to the bone. Idomeneus, gray-haired but furious, charges in and kills Arthurius, who had come to Troy seeking Cassandra's hand in marriage without even paying a bride price. Zeus, meanwhile, secretly schemes to glorify Achilles by leading the Trojans to press the Greeks, while Neptune quietly encourages the Greeks from the shadows. Idomeneus taunts the dead Arthurius. Then he drags his body off by foot. Ares tries to avenge his fallen comrade. He falls like a failed oak, grinding his teeth in blood-stained dust. He panicked. Charioteer can't escape, and Athelius I don't know how to say his names. Ateliochus kills him too. Delphius hurls a spear at Idomeneus in revenge, but misses. It strikes Hypersensor in the liver instead killing him. Delphius gloats over the body, and these names are fucking crazy. Burning with grief, runs up to shield the corpse while comrades carried away. The cycle of killing and counter-killing accelerates. Delphius recruits Aeneas, who is bitter that King Priam has never given him the honor he deserves. The news that Alcetius and Aeneas' brother-in-law, the man who raised him, is dead at Aeneas' hand is enough. Aeneas comes running for vengeance. Aeneas calls for help as Aeneas changes. The two heroes go at each other directly. Aeneas throws first and misses. Aeneas strikes Idomeneus in the belly, and his guts spill out. But Idomeneus is aging. His legs are heavy. He can hold his ground, but can't charge or dodge anymore. The killing escalates. Aeneas spears Aphareus through the throat. Antigonus cuts open Dawn's main artery. Halius wounds Miculus with a bow. Then Menelaus and Helios clash. Hector doesn't know the Greeks are crushing his left wing. I'll get back to that map in a second. Hector doesn't know the Greeks are crushing his left wing. Neptune has been too effective. Hector holds his ground at the breach gate where the fight is more furious. So we can see like the Archaeans are actually gaining a little bit of a advantage on the left side, and you can see like the gate sort of changed based on that last map. And so this is where their breach happened, and this is where they're sort of dominating, and then they're getting closer and closer to the ship, but they're actually gaining somewhat of an advantage from a different standpoint. Ajax strides forward to challenge Hector directly, taunting him that the Greeks are excellent soldiers and Troy will fall before their own camp does. A bird flies past Ajax's right, and the Greeks roar at the omen. Hector fires back with equal venom. He wishes we were as certain of being Zeus's sons as he is that day. This day will destroy the Greeks. To end off book 13, Hector leads the Trojan charge. Neptune went behind Jove's back and rallied the Achaeans from the edge of collapse. He filled the Ajaxes with divine fire, armed Idomeneus with fresh fury, and turned the Trojan left wing into a slaughterhouse, all while Hector was locked in at the gate, blind to the disaster unfolding behind him. Paradyme warned him to regroup. He listened, but then his captains were dead or bleeding. The book ends with both armies screaming at full force, the war at a boiling point, and no clear winner. The Argives answer with their own war cry. Both armies scream until the sound reaches heaven itself, and with that, the battle has reached a pitch that even the gods can no longer ignore. With that, we open with book 14. So just stop sharing.
Nice, dude.
Sweet.
Nice.
Yeah, the maps were a little like I tried to like I wanted it like I feel like once you start playing with AI or like the graphics or stuff like it builds stuff, it's hard to get it the same every single time.
Yeah.
I did like the map. It was a good visual element to kind of put the like where the armies are, like what's going on, where the ocean is and the wall and stuff. So that was cool. I like that. I think that's a direction that could be explored more.
Yeah.
Even because the map that you had was like all stripped down and everything, like just like to like a almost look like a Call of Duty map or something, and maybe using like a I don't know something more like Greek or Roman could help, you know. But that was my only thing. Overall, I think it was solid.
Yeah, it was like the map was like it reminded me of playing video games, kind of like Fallout or whatever. When you clicked it, it's like you pulled up the map on your Pip-Boy or whatever, and you see like the map so far. I think that was a really cool addition. I like that a lot.
Yeah, it was good, dude.
Oh yeah.
That's it.
So my feedback, I love in the beginning of this presentation how you did a transition from book 12. Here's where we left off. I think moving forward, I think you should do that every single time because we're 2 weeks between our last presentation, and it's a good like, hey, here's where we left off, here's where we're going type of thing. I think that was a really good addition. So applause to you on that. The brutal and awesome imagery, I loved it. Like, I mean, you literally had an image of a guy getting his head cut off, so that was awesome. And I think the additional details of the deaths was really cool. You know, speared him through his belly, things like that. I think at one point you may have been one slide ahead of your reading. That's if I have to nitpick, that's something I would say. But altogether, I think your presentation was really, really good. And yeah, I'm excited to see kind of you implement that map and kind of the, hey, here's where we left off intro slide. I really liked those. So good job, man.
Awesome.
Hell yeah.
Thank you.
Any questions for Dev before we move on? Nope. All right.
Nope.
So we're going to pivot over to book 14, which was my book. So give me one moment while I bring that up.
Boom.
See, these names are crazy.
Yeah. I'll mention that too. If you're reading the book, listen to the audiobook and he'll say how to say the names.
Mm-hmm.
And that should help a lot too. Cause like Polydamas, you know, like reading that, you get Polydamas, like it happens. So
anus.
Yeah, something anus.
Something anus.
All right. Let me know when you guys can see my screen.
Says loading.
It's loading.
Oh.
Yeah, we're lit, boy. All right, I'm gonna mute myself.
All right. So similar to last week, still using ChatGPT to create images. I went with a couple different styles this time. When I'm, displaying anything that's related to gods, I found this art style called Rococo and Baroque, which was like kind of this painting style that is like more subtle. It was really I wanted to differentiate between the two different scenes, so I kind of got two different art styles. And then in the like battlefield, I used like a romanticism artwork that I've been kind of using before. So I kind of wanted to differentiate between the two. So yeah, we'll jump into it. This is book 14 of the Iliad. So the battle roars beyond the Greek wall, and inside his tent, Nestor sips a cup of wine, listening. The clash of bronze grows louder. The sound is wrong. It is too close. He rises and steps outside. From the lookout, he sees disaster unfolding. The Trojans have broken through the Greek defenses. The Greek army is scattered and the wall is failing. This is no ordinary push. This is collapse. Nestor seeks Agamemnon, and he finds him with Ulysses and Diomed. These leaders, wounded, forced to stand and watch their army falter. Agamemnon speaks first. His voice carries dread. Hector had sworn he would burn the ships, and now it seems prophecy is becoming reality. Some of the Greeks refuse to fight, still angry over past insults, and unity is fractured. Agamemnon proposes retreat. Let them drag the ships into the sea under the cover of darkness. Better to flee than to be slaughtered. His words hang heavy. The king is ready to abandon the war. Ulysses cannot tolerate that. He rises in anger and condemns Agamemnon's suggestion. Such words, he says, will destroy morale faster than any Trojan spear. A leader must never speak defeat into his army. Retreat now would mean ruin. Diomed speaks next, young, bold, and resolute. He proposes that they go to the field, not to fight directly, for they are wounded, but to rally the troops. Let's inspire them with courage instead of despair. The council agrees, and Agamemnon leads them forward. As they move among the ranks, an old man approaches, and this is Poseidon in mortal disguise. He speaks encouragement into Agamemnon. The gods are not wholly against them. The Trojans will be driven back. Agamemnon's spirit rekindles. He shouts a battle cry that rolls across the plain, and the Greeks answer. High above, Juno watches. She sees Zeus favoring the Trojans. She burns with resentment. If Zeus will not relent, she will outwit him. A plan forms, bold and dangerous. Juno enters her chamber. She bathes in ambrosia. She anoints herself with divine oils. She dons a radiant robe woven by Athena. Golden clasps gleam at her breast. A shimmering veil falls over her hair. She prepares not for battle, but for seduction. Juno seeks Aphrodite. Feigning concern for reconciliation among ancient powers, she asks for the goddess's enchanted girdle, a charm containing love, longing, and irresistible desire. Aphrodite, unsuspecting, grants it, and Juno conceals the charm within her robes. Juno descends from Olympus and approaches the god Sleep. She asks him to lull Zeus into a slumber once passion overtakes him. Sleep hesitates, remembering past punishment. Juno swears a binding oath and promises him a bride among the Graces, Pasithea. Sleep agrees, and the conspiracy is sealed. Juno ascends to Mount Ida, where Zeus sits watching the war. He sees her, and desire overwhelms him instantly. He asks, why has she come? She speaks sweetly of visiting distant relatives of reconciliation. Zeus does not question her further and wishes to take her immediately. Juno plays bashful and requests both her and Zeus go to a more private location. Zeus declares that no chamber is needed. He summons a golden cloud to conceal them atop the mountain. The earth blooms beneath them and they lie together. When their passion is spent, Sleep drifts close and closes Zeus's eyes. The king of gods falls into a deep slumber. Sleep then flies swiftly to Poseidon while Zeus is asleep. Now is the moment, and Poseidon wastes no time. Poseidon strides through the Greek ranks, unseen but felt. He commands them to arm with their largest shields and longest spears. He promises Hector will not withstand them. Confidence surges, and the Greeks advance. The armies collide once more. Bronze crashes against bronze. Dust rises thick over the field. The Greeks fight with renewed fury, pressing hard against the Trojan line, and the tide begins to shift. Hector, still fierce, hurls his spear at Ajax. The spear strikes, but Ajax's armor holds. Hector senses danger and withdraws slightly behind his lines. Ajax bends down and lifts a massive stone, and with brutal force, he hurls it at Hector. The blow strikes near the neck above his shield. Hector reels in pain. His armor clangs as he collapses to the ground. The Trojans rush to protect their fallen champion. Under a rain of spears, they drag Hector away and place him upon a chariot to evacuate him from the field. At the medic station, Hector is splashed with water. He awakens briefly, coughing blood, stunned and pale. Back on the field, with the Greeks seeing him gone, they attack with savage intensity. Each side shouts the names of the dead. The killing grows more furious, and Ajax cuts down more warriors than any other. The Trojans retreat under the mounting pressure. For now, the Greeks reclaim ground, but Zeus still sleeps on Ida, and when he wakes, the balance will shift again. Book 14 closes with triumph, but it is fragile, temporary, and born of deception. The war has not turned, it has only shifted beneath the shadow of a sleeping god. Some key points of the chapter. So there's a Greek leadership crisis. Agamemnon briefly proposes retreat, revealing despair and fractured morale among the Achaeans. Ulysses rebukes him, and Diomed proposes rallying the troops instead. Poseidon intervenes secretly. He's disguised among the Greeks, and Poseidon encourages them, signaling that divine support is shifting, at least temporarily. Hera's deception of Zeus. So Juno, or Hera, seduces Zeus under Aphrodite's enchanted girdle and enlists Sleep, the god, to render him unconscious, removing Zeus's control over the battlefield. There's a resurgence of the Greeks under divine distraction. While Zeus was asleep, Poseidon openly aids the Greeks, restoring their confidence and turning the momentum of the battle. And finally, Hector is wounded by Ajax. Ajax strikes Hector down with a massive stone. Hector is removed from the field, and the Trojans retreat temporarily, sparking a fragile but significant Greek recovery. Thank you.
Yeah,
Great job, man.
I liked how you made Hera or Juno sexy. You gave her big breasts, and that was noticed. All right, like he had to write that in there. All right, but that was accurate. If you read the book, you would know that she's known for having big old yibbies, so it actually just fits. Yeah. So I thought that was good. I like the different art styles to portray the different scenes. I thought things looked really clear too, you know, and I thought it was good flow.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, the consistency across the story arc and the timeline is very I don't know, you depict that very well, not just visually, but like also like the way you narrate. It's very chronologically like easy to follow.
Awesome. Hell yeah. Thank you.
Bro said yippies.
Tibble bitties.
Yeah, artwork is awesome, man. Flow of content is just on point. I liked how the end slide this time had like different touching points from the chapter overall. Yeah, it was sick. I'm excited, dude. It's perfect. Like the way that your chat GPT made the images like leads into mine. It's so sick.
I want to touch on like, you know how you said like Hera or Juno, and like it's Poseidon or Neptune.
Right.
I was looking up because I was getting confused about like, wait, why? So do you guys know why they have two names?
The Latin translation.
Yeah, exactly. So I thought that was good because like I didn't know that until I Googled it.
Yeah. The book we have is the Latin translation, and
Right.
Like the original Greek names is kind of what I'm pivoting to. Kind of like Zeus is Greek, Jove is Latin, so it's kind of like interchangeable.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a good note to make. So for any of the viewers that are like, oh, you know what the hell's going on? That's what's going on.
That's what's going on. Yeah.
Yeah, I had to do some fan service on that one.
Hey, but it was like she's literally, I mean, she's Zeus's wife. She's literally like known as being like sexy with big tits. I mean, so I thought you depicted her exactly right. I mean, you know?
Yeah, hell yeah. I just hope the fans like that one.
The 3 we got. Let's go.
Hell yeah. All right. Now we're gonna go over to book 15 with David.
Yes, sir. All right, let's go. All right, give her a second. Can you guys see this?
Not yet.
Not yet.
I'm actually seeing your Google. I'm not seeing your.
Okay, 1 second. I don't know why that happened. Oh my god. All right, 1 second. Sorry.
You're good.
We're good, bro.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about your creative approach to this while you're doing that.
Yeah, so for this one, I did a little bit different. Art style, still in that God of War kind of look, but I wanted to get more color and have some little variation in this one. I feel like that same kind of repetitive ChatGPT slop was just kind of, I was like, oh, maybe I can mix it up a little bit.
Okay.
And I also, for this one, you'll notice I took off the words for these slides because I wanted to see if that had a better effect just overall. Kind of like how you do yours, Jay, with no, like,
No text.
it's just photo. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why is it not doing the dude?
I mean, that looks just like one of the images I made. That's like perfect.
Right?
Yeah.
That's what I was saying. I was like, dude, this is like literally what was on yours, right?
I mean, probably it fucking like saw what Jay made and was like, I think I know exactly what he wants.
I know exactly what he wants.
Okay, sorry guys. Can you guys? My computer's like freezing right now. It's like overheating. Okay, cool. We're good. You guys can see this.
I'm seeing black.
It's black screen.
Really?
Yeah.
You gotta close some of them tabs, boy.
My computer's like legit freezing up.
Okay, I see the picture.
Okay.
I was thinking about adding a Birdman rubbing his hands together meme in there, but I was like,
Is it still black?
No, I can see it
Nope.
now, but I see a spinny wheel, like it's not done loading or something. And
Is black there?
Yeah.
it's black.
All right. Well, I'm just gonna present with that stuff on the side then.
Okay.
All right, guys. So, okay, now you guys can see this, right?
Correct.
Yep.
Okay, cool. All right. So the Iliad, book 15. So book 15 begins, or I'm sorry, book 14 ends with the Trojans push back past the trench and stakes, while the Achaeans surge forward and Poseidon openly helps them in the fighting. In the middle of the chaos, Hector is down, hit hard and surrounded by his men, while the Greeks feel for the first time in a while like they might actually turn the battle. That's the moment Book 15 opens on. The tide is shifted, and the gods are about to decide whether it stays that way. The Trojans are described as pale and shaken, retreating toward their chariots in confusion. Hector lies gasping, vomiting blood after Ajax's crushing blow. It looks briefly as if Greek momentum might finally overwhelm Troy, but that illusion lasts only as long as Zeus continues to sleep. Zeus wakes and sees the battlefield. Zeus wakes on Mount Ida and immediately sees the problem. The Trojans are shaken, the Achaeans are chasing them, and Poseidon is right there in the center of the Greek push. He notices Hector lying on the ground, struggling to breathe and vomiting blood, and he feels a sudden pity for them. But Zeus's pity comes with anger too, because he believes the situation was created by Hera's scheming. From his vantage point above the world, Zeus sees the battlefield like a chessboard. He notices Poseidon openly aiding the Greeks, something he never authorized. His anger is not only about Hector's condition, but about the fact that divine order has been disturbed behind his back. Zeus confronts Hera. Zeus turns on Hera and calls her a trickster, accusing her of interfering to stop Hector and cause the Trojan retreat. He even reminds her of a past punishment, how he once hung her in the sky with anvils at her feet, to warn her what happens when she pushes him too far. Hera, frightened, swears a formal oath that Poseidon is acting on his own and that she did not order him to help the Achaeans. Zeus accepts her answer, but he does not relax his control. He recounts how he once hurled rebellious gods from Olympus and restrained Hera in chains suspended from heaven. This is not a minor domestic argument. It is a reminder of absolute authority. Hera swears by the Styx, the most binding oath among immortals, signaling the seriousness of the moment. Zeus lays out the script of what's coming. Zeus tells Hera to summon Iris and Apollo because he's going to reset the battle according to his plan. He states clearly that Poseidon must leave the fight and that Apollo will restore Hector and drive the Achaeans back towards the ships. He even foreshadows the larger fate ahead. Achilles will send Patroclus, Patroclus will be killed by Hector, and Achilles will eventually kill Hector in return. In other words, Zeus is not only controlling today's battle, he's setting the direction of the whole story. He reminds Hera of the promise he made to Thetis that Achilles will receive honor after being wronged. Everything now moves toward the outcome. This battle at the ships is not random chaos. It is a necessary step in fulfilling the divine commitment. Hera returns to Olympus and the gods react. Hera flies back to Olympus and sits among the gods, visibly tense, even when she tries to act composed. She warns them that Zeus is determined to do what he wants and that arguing with him won't stop it. Ares becomes furious because his son has been killed, and he starts preparing to jump into battle to avenge him. Athena stops Ares immediately, pulling away his weapons and forcing him to sit, because fighting Zeus directly would bring disaster on the gods themselves. The scene reveals how unstable Olympus can be. Ares nearly storms into war out of emotion, not strategy. Athena, acting with restraint, reminds him that Zeus would abandon the battlefield entirely and punish the gods if they interfere further. Iris confronts Poseidon. Hera calls Iris and Apollo and sends them to Zeus, who gives Iris a direct message. Poseidon must stop fighting and go back to the sea. Iris delivers the command, and Poseidon is enraged. He argues that the world was divided by lot, that he is Zeus's equal in honor. Iris responds carefully, reminding him that the Erinyes favor the older god, and the wisdom sometimes means yielding even when you're right. Poseidon, still bitter, finally agrees to withdraw, but he warns Zeus. Sparing Troy against the will of the other gods will build a lasting resentment. Poseidon emphasizes that the earth and Olympus are shared territory among the brothers. He does not submit out of weakness. He yields to avoid escalating divine civil war. His departure marks a turning point. The Greeks lose their most powerful supporter on the field. Apollo revives Hector. With Poseidon gone, Zeus sends Apollo to Hector with a clear mission: restore him, protect him, and push the Trojans straight at the ships. Apollo finds Hector no longer unconscious, but still weak and shaken from Ajax's blow. Apollo tells him that Zeus is backing him now, and he pours strength into him until Hector's body and spirit fully return. Hector rises like a champion restored, and the Trojans suddenly have their attack back at the exact moment they need him the most. Hector is compared to a stallion breaking free and galloping proudly back into motion. The transformation is immediate. Exhaustion turns into momentum. Divine energy replaces human weakness. Hector's charge and the Achaeans' fear. Hector calls his chariots forward in mass, and the Trojans press as one body behind him. The Achaeans, seeing Hector alive again, react with shock because they thought he was finished, and they immediately suspect divine help. Thoas quickly organizes a response. Most Greeks should fall back toward the ships, while the strongest fighters stay behind to slow Hector's advance. The field begins to compress, turning a wide battle into a tighter, more desperate defense. The Greeks reorganize in layers, forming a defense front near the fleet. The battlefield that once stretched wide now narrows into confined spaces between the ships and tents. The mood shifts from aggressive pursuit to survival. Apollo uses the Aegis to break Greek courage. Apollo moves ahead of Hector, shrouded in cloud, carrying the terrible Aegis, an image that signals panic more than it signals strategy. When Apollo keeps it still, the fighting remains balanced and lethal on both sides. But when he shakes it directly at the Achaeans, their courage collapses, and order breaks into fear. Homer makes the shift feel immediate. The Trojans do not suddenly become smarter. Rather, the Greeks become unable to hold their nerve. The sound of the Aegis and Apollo's divine cry scatter their information. Panic spreads faster than wounds. Divine fear proves more decisive than bronze. The wall falls like a sandcastle. Hector shouts to push forward to the ships, and Apollo literally reshapes the battlefield and to make it possible. He fills the trench to form a broad crossing and smashes down the Greek wall with ease, comparing their hard work to a child knocking down a sand structure at their shore. The Achaeans are driven inside their defenses, pressed back into the narrow space around the ships. Nestor prays to Zeus, and Zeus answers with thunder, an omen that confirms that Trojans are now favored. The wall, once a symbol of Greek ingenuity and security, proves meaningless against divine force. Human engineering collapses instantly before a mortal will. The thunder serves as a clear sign. Zeus is actively driving events. Fight at the ships. Teucer block. Ajax holds the line. At the ships, the war becomes close and brutal, with the Achaeans using long pikes meant for sea fighting and the Trojan pushing in from chariots and on foot. Ajax becomes the main barrier, moving along the decks and stopping anyone who brings fire. Teucer tries to snipe Hector, but Zeus snaps his bowstring at the moment of the shot, turning skill into helplessness. Hector rallies his men with the promise of honor, saying that dying here protects their families and proves their courage, while Ajax answers by calling the Greeks to stand and fight because there is nowhere else to go. Ajax is described striding from deck to deck like a master horseman shifting between racing steeds. 12 men fall before him at the ships, yet even his strength cannot bear Hector's momentum. Book 15 is the divine reset at the ships. The moment Zeus takes the battle out of human hands and forces the war onto the narrowest, most dangerous ground, Poseidon is pushed off the field, Apollo becomes the engine of Trojan momentum, and Hector returns as the spear point that drives the Greeks back to the fleet. The wall that once felt like safety is erased, and the story's pressure tightens until fire at the ships becomes a real possibility. By the end, the Achaeans are no longer trying to win the day. They are trying to keep their escape route from turning into ash. The gods determine the rhythm, humans endure the consequences, divine politics translate directly into moral panic, and the image of Hector gripping the stern and calling for fire becomes the visual symbol of how close the Greeks are to total disaster. And that's the end of book 15.
Sick. That was fucking sick. Yeah, the details in your images are like nuts. I don't know how. I don't know, you gotta teach us how you're getting so much detail. I guess you and Jay, like, but some of the images, like in yours specifically, there was like motion blur, and it was almost like, I don't know, it was crazy. I like it. It was good job.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, I noticed the addition of some more color. Like Hector's armor was really red, like crimson red, like so good. The addition of color, it was really, really good. Yeah, man. I mean, your imagery is top tier. Like Devin was saying, like there was an image in there, like one of your slides, where like kind of in the foreground on the bottom left of the image, it looked blurred, like motion. Like it really was. The artwork is really, really good, man. That's really all I have to say. It was a really good job.
Thanks, dude.
It's really good. Looks like Thanos.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he got a big old head,
Good.
old cube head. Yeah, right here, this one.
Oh yeah.
So good, man.
Really
What are you
cool.
using? Are you using GPT?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's when you say you hand drew it, bro.
Yeah. Hand painted on.
Yeah. On Microsoft Paint.
This one's my favorite. Like I was just
Yeah,
like,
dude, the
Oh, yeah.
dragon.
this one.
So, yeah,
What
so crazy.
Real God of War vibes.
Yeah.
Love it. So good. So what did you do anything differently this time, or did you fine tune your process at all?
Mainly it's been the okay, so as far as context wise, I'm having like I read my book, I'm being very aware of like the parts that I think are interesting to me, and then I'm putting that into ChatGPT to prompt it. Well, first I have it reread the source material. I'm like reread, analyze, keep an eye out for these things. Like one of them was, like Ares getting stopped by Athena. Like I want those in the slides because sometimes it'll leave stuff out. So I was like, I want you to keep in mind watch for these points, put them into 12 slides. But this time I'll be like really capture the context of the visual of the scene and then give me my slides. So it gives me my slides of the paragraphs that I'm reading. And then I then take that, I say, give me prompts, image generation prompts that I can have for each in this God of War style, but really capture like the style, like the perspective, switch it up so there's visual interest. And then I did have it give me, I was like, make it to where it's digestible for like a YouTube audience. And then it was a lot quicker this time because I think I have my process down. But other than that, I just deleted the paragraphs because I felt like it gives more, like you're wrapped into the image more. I think.
Yeah, when I was in grad school, I remember being in an oral presentation class, and they were like, if you can do a slide with as minimal text as possible, the people are going to look at the image, but really they're going to be more interested in what you have to say. So while you're talking to me, I'm looking at the image and picking out the pieces that you're saying. So I do like the removal of the text. I think it was really good. All right. Anything else to add for David before we move on?
I like this chapter in general, not even talking about David's presentations. I just like this chapter. Kind of gives a little background on like Neptune and Zeus's relationship, up and down until the book. You think that like Zeus is like really like he's got a monopoly on power, like he's unchecked, like he really is like the pinnacle of authority. But then the Greeks kind of just knew this already, but like us, maybe we don't inherently know all this, but Neptune or Poseidon is his brother, along with Hades, and they equally share equal amounts of power in their like respected areas, and the Earth is supposed to be like neutral ground. So technically, like Neptune could have said, "Nah, fuck that shit. I want the Kings to win. Challenge me for real, big dog."
Yeah.
And even Zeus was like, thank God he stepped down. He goes, low key, that would have been like that would have been tough. Like, yeah, I'm him. I would have won, but like I'll be real with y'all. It would have been easy. It would have been really tough. So I thought that was just a really interesting dynamic of like, even though maybe power scaling wise, they're similar. The way the brothers got decided their like portion of like power kind of ends up dictating who really is the authority. Zeus being like in the heavens, Neptune being the sea, and then like Hades being like the lowest on the totem pole when it comes down to it, because like he's in like pretty much hell, I guess, like the underworld. So it was interesting.
Yeah. Oh yeah. All right.
Okay.
Well,
My turn.
we'll pivot to book 6 with John. So go ahead and get that all pulled up. And then just go ahead and start.
Screen share. Whoopsies. Okay. Boom. All right. And then David, when I pull this up, can you make it like full screen on your side so like it's full screen on like the thingy? True.
So put yours as full screen on my computer, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, because like it records off yours, right?
Yes. Let me figure out how to do that real quick.
You should just click like when I'm looking at your guys', I can just click within the Google slide like full screen and it takes up the whole screen. That way in the film, it's not just like a quarter of the screen on like your screen.
What are you actually clicking though?
I literally just click a thing that looks like a square and makes the screen bigger. Guys, I'm not tripping, right? It's like normal.
Yeah, no, for me right now, yours is full screen on my end.
It's good. You guys see full screen?
Yeah.
Like I don't see any borders or anything.
No, but I meant like on your screen, is it full screen, or is it like, can you guys still see each other? You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, I can still see David and Jay.
Like I'm saying, David, for you, there's no need to do that. Like, because it's recording off of yours now. Like, just make this thing full screen. Like, no need to take up, because like you guys like mute yourselves and take the camera off. So.
Okay. Sorry, I'm not trying to like be confusing, but I'm like looking for that square.
All right. Should I just go?
Yeah, go for it.
All right. Book 16. Let's go. The Cost of Borrowed Glory, an analysis of Book 16 of the Iliad. Exploring the themes of fate, identity, and the tragic consequences of pride through Patroclus's battle and downfall in Book 16. Why isn't this working? There we go. In Book 16, the Iliad, titled Fire Being Now Thrown on the Ship of the Protostilians, Patroclus fights in the armor of Achilles. He drives the Trojans back, but is in the end killed by Euphorbus and Hector. We delve into the pivotal moment where Patroclus takes the battlefield in Achilles' stead. This book highlights the themes of borrowed glory and the tragic consequences that arise when one attempts to step beyond their destined role. Where we are in the story. At this critical juncture in the narrative, Achilles remains stubbornly withdrawn from battle, choosing not to engage despite the dire circumstances. The Trojans have successfully breached the Greek defenses, leading to chaos as Greek ships are set ablaze, highlighting the imminent threat of a complete collapse of the Greek forces. Important characters in Book 16. So we have Patroclus, which is the center tragic figure. We have Achilles, which is the greatest Greek warrior that's missing. We have Hector, the Trojan champion. Zeus, the overseer of fate. Apollo, which is the agent of fate. And Euphorbus, first to wound Patroclus. Okay, so here's a little breakdown of how Book 16 goes. The Trojans are relentlessly attacking the Greek ships, setting them ablaze. Greek warriors, exhausted and wounded, face imminent defeat as the battle reaches a critical point. In a moment of desperation, Patroclus weeps at Achilles' tent, pleading for him to return to battle or to allow Patroclus to don his armor and fight in his stead. Though Achilles refuses to engage in battle, he permits Patroclus to wear his armor and lead the Myrmidons, cautioning him against pursuing the Trojans beyond the ships. This warning seals Patroclus' fate. I don't know how to say this word exactly, but the Myrmidons, the Myrmidons are like Achilles' personal army that he's over, and there's like 5 like bands within them, so it's kind of like a whole new fresh army of dope guys directly under Achilles that Patroclus gets the lead. Patroclus charges into battle wearing Achilles' armor, leading the Myrmidons. The Trojans mistake him for Achilles, which causes panic in their ranks. Patroclus demonstrates incredible prowess, killing Sarpedon, Zeus's son. If you guys remember, he's the guy through the huge boulder through the Greeks' wall, along with Hector. He's one of like the goats on the Trojan side. He just fell right now. Eliminated. Zeus deliberates on whether to save Sarpedon, ultimately allowing him to die honorably. Meanwhile, Patroclus continues to advance, but fate looms over him, signaling that success will be short-lived. Overcome by hubris, Patroclus disregards Achilles' warning and pushes towards the wall of Troy, attempting to storm the city 3 times, stepping beyond his destined role. So not only has he like saved the ships and has pushed them back, he's advancing. And he's like, fuck it, dude. I might just win this whole thing right here, right now. White boy got some motion. Apollo intervenes, striking Patroclus from behind. The sudden attack stuns him, loosening his armor and signifying that the gods reclaim what was never truly his. Patroclus sustains a wound from Ephoribus, and Hector ultimately delivers the fatal blow. In his last moments, he foretells Hector's death and declares that Achilles will avenge him, propelling the narrative forward. Major themes in Book 16. Fate versus free will, identity and illusion, the cost of compassion, divine control, the tragedy of overreach. Some key takeaways. Borrowed glory is temporary. Patroclus achieves greatness only while wearing Achilles' armor. His success reveals that true identity and heroic power cannot be borrowed. Once he oversteps his role, that his illusion collapses. I use the Itachi one right now because it's Genjutsu. It's like an illusion. And he's like, yeah, you thought you won, buddy. Look over there. Compassion can be dangerous as pride. Achilles' choice to let Patroclus fight comes from care, not ego. Yet this act of compassion sets tragedy in motion, showing that even well-intentioned decisions can have irreversible consequences. Overstepping one's limit leads to ruin. Patroclus dies not when he obeys Achilles' warning, but when he ignores it. His fall illustrates hubris, crossing boundaries meant for another hero, aka you're not that guy. Heroism comes at a cost. Patroclus saves the Greeks from destruction, but sacrifices his life. His death shows that heroic success in the Iliad is rarely without tragedy. If anyone has ever watched Dragon Ball Z, this is when Vegeta finally reclaims himself over Majin, and he decides to sacrifice himself to defeat Buu. And so to save the whole world, he sacrificed himself, and he was like, even for you, Goku. So this was a good moment, Dragon Ball Z. And Book 16 shows that even the noblest intentions can lead to ruin when fate is ignored. The cost of borrowed glory. That is my presentation.
Sick, dude.
That was a good job.
That one was
good.
Banger, dude. I loved it. I love the.
Should I pull it back up or are we
sure?
good?
Yeah, pull it.
Yeah.
The gray background, like the new kind of look, I think worked really well. The flow of everything, the information, the memes were like just felt like they were like super on point this time. Like I don't know, however you did the memes. Yeah.
How are you downloading the GIF files? Where are you getting them from?
Dude, it's directly into Prezi. Like
Wow.
I can directly like add like whether it's images, stickers, or gifs, and then I'm like typing in like, give me a Halo one, give me one where I'm like crying, and like sometimes like it's a little bit of farming of like getting exactly what I want, but now I kind of got something for it, you know.
Nice, dude.
Like this one, I was like, bro, that's literally. He's like, dude, please, please.
You even put some ooh woo shit in there, bro.
I know. Wait, yeah, with the fucking where is it at? I think it's this one.
Yeah.
Some fan service.
Yeah.
Damn, dude.
That shit was funny, huh? Yeah. All right.
The way you captured the Dragon Ball Z one at the end too, I was like, wow.
That was good, huh?
Yeah, you told the story with the memes too. It was like its own story.
No, literally, I was like, bro, this is heroism, bro. This literally how Patroclus felt out there. Like, fuck it, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, whoopsies.
So my feedback, the Prezi layout is really good. I like that, how it's got like an overarching scene and you pop in and out of into the smaller sections. I like that a lot. The additions of memes, like David said, is great. I like when you go off script. It's always entertaining. I like at the end how you do like a breakdown of the wisdom in each chapter. I think that's a great addition to your presentation. The first slide, we got to get you to use a PNG file
for our brand.
For our brand logo.
Yeah. Well, I did that real quick. That's why I asked for the thing. I was like, but yeah, okay.
Yeah, I'll show. I can send you the location of it in our drive too.
Okay.
But yeah, overall, really good presentation. Really liked it.
Pretty.
Did you, other than like was there anything like majorly different to how you like organized your information or like how you made the Prezi document, like got it ready to put into Prezi?
Not really. If anything, I'm like streamlining it now. Like now that I like know kind of what I'm looking for and what I'm building, I find it happening like me being able to work a lot faster, you know? So yeah.
Hell yeah. All right. Anything else to add before we move into our discussion? Oh, all right. So kind of overview questions and stuff before we wrap it up. Did you guys have a favorite part from this week's reading?
I liked book 15's for me, I think my favorite. It's maybe because it's like the one that's God-centered, not like God, but like the gods, you know? It's more of a book kind of catching you up because like I think Devin brought it up last meeting, but like it had been a while since the gods had like maybe shown themselves on screen, you know? And then you find out like kind of what's brewing, like they're not happy. Juno and Poseidon are kind of like scheming. It shows that like Juno using kind of like her seductiveness. She used that on a lot of people. She uses it on like the sleepy guy, you know, and he's like, hey, I remember what happened last time. And she's like, okay, listen, this time I'll give you one of my hot daughters. And he's like, done, you know, because like, yeah. So then he wakes up mad and he's about to challenge his bro. And then like his bro's like, whoa, he thinks he can just boss me around. Doesn't he know I'm also a him? So that was the first time where I was like, oh shit. So I enjoyed that one the best, I think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'd say I think book 14 was my favorite. The part where Juno kind of like shows her cards, like how much scheming happens behind the scenes is very like interesting. And like when I was feeding this into like Claude, like to understand like the characters and like how this interprets into like real world and stuff. And I also like reflected on like the book that I've been reading, the Seductive or Human, I forget what it's called, but I mentioned it before we started reading this book. But it's like it said it's a woman who knows exactly what she's doing. It's like it's so like I know it's just a story, but seduction is probably like the greatest. It can be like the greatest weakness to man. And even God, like in this story, God's like, so it's like, it's crazy the power of it. So I would say like that whole section of the scheming and understanding like the cadence at which he was moving with like the perfume and the sleepiness and like that was like really interesting to me.
Let me ask you, do you think that seduction can be equally as like dangerous for women, Devin, as it is for guys, like the way you just laid it out?
I think so. I think it's just women have the power to wield seduction. I don't know if us men have the power.
Isn't that what look maxing is? Isn't that what Clav's doing? Like he's look maxing, aka owning seduction.
Possibly, but I think at a like.
No, it doesn't work like that, Jay. It don't work like that.
No.
No.
Did you know Justin Bieber wielded unlimited power for a couple of years?
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Like I feel like Henry Cavill low-key wields like maybe power that an average man would not be able to do with like control, you know?
I think the reason why I bring it up, majority versus minority, you know what I mean? Like there are definitely
writes about this, you know? It's like, like, dude, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. I mean, Elvis Presley had it back in the day. I guess it does kind of go both ways. I would say that's women's superpower, though. Like, right, the art of seduction is one of women's superpowers. I would say it's rare for men. You know,
remember Outwitting the Devil when he's like, women use the power of what was it? I think it was seduction or something. They close their eyes halfway and they use their eyes to seduce the man. Like they hypnotize men. I was like, oh.
Yeah, I mean, it even warns about it in the Bible, right? Beware of her eyelashes. You know.
Yeah. I mean, book 1, they're like, oh, and they fucked up. So
you might have honey dripping off her lips, but she has many dead bodies in her
mouth is smoother than oil, but her heart.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'll piggyback off of Dev. I think 14 was my favorite because it cracks me up that like Homer, when he's authoring this book, he writes the gods in a way that is similar to mortals, like husband and wife, or like man and woman. Like, okay, I want to achieve a means, and me being a woman, what can I do? What can I use? And she's like, I can use myself, right? Let me push him up. Let me, get a little bit of help with his girdle. Let me go seduce him. I know he's going to be tired, but let me get sleep to really put him down. The plotting and scheming of 14, I think was my favorite. And it shows that in Homer's writing, gods are similar to mortals in certain ways.
I like my book. The how God-centered it was too. I really been wanting to go crazy with ChatGPT on like the God of War, like Poseidon and Zeus and like Athena and all that stuff. So I think my favorite part was when Zeus wakes up and he just realizes everything that's happened. He's like, you've done it again, you dirty old.
He's like, you wench.
Yeah, literally. after like right before that, he's like, let's make love right here, right now.
He's like, no, baby, no, I swear it wasn't me. He's like, oh yeah, really?
Right.
Really?
Yeah, in 14 too, she's like, not here. Let's go back to my chambers.
The one that was made that no one can see into. Not even you.
Sketch.
I really liked.
But he's a veteran. He's like, right here, right now, or nowhere else. Right. I'm not getting set up.
Yeah.
I liked when your depiction of it, Jay, of sleep, like how sleep looked like. It looked all like
scary.
Yeah, scary and stuff. Like I thought that was pretty sick.
I thought he looked scary, almost like the guy of death.
Yeah. When I prompted to create that image, I was like, make him look like Kurogiri from My Hero Academia, the warp guy.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I was like, I want him to look like that, but to fit kind of our aesthetic that we've developed here. And so I use that kind of as a framework.
When I was reading it, for whatever reason, the sleep guy seemed like an incel to me. The way he was like, no, I remember what happened last time I helped you.
Right.
She was fucked to me. She's like, no, this time I'll make it worth your while. I'll give you the daughter you wanted for all eternity. He's like, damn, I'm in. Pussy. Got it.
Swear on it.
binding vow on it.
Right? Yeah, I feel like the gods that are like spite, despair, sleep, I feel like those are like beta gods.
Beta.
Wait.
Oh man, yep.
All right. Did you guys have a favorite character in this week's reading? Ajax was fucking it up this reading, man. Ajax was like the bulwark of the Achaeans, keeping them from lighting the ships on fire as long as he could, jumping from ship to ship, fucking up Hector. Like he really was like that guy.
Yeah, I almost think it's like not even fair. You know who I dislike the most is I didn't like Poseidon.
I was gonna say the same thing. I'm actually really curious on how they depict this in the movie.
Because they won't. Well, they at least won't depict this part because this is like the precursor to the Odyssey. But if the Odyssey goes well, they might release the Iliad. Who knows? Probably not though. But
they should do a TV show. I don't know why the fuck they're doing a movie.
But the way he kind of goes around and like sneakily like boosts the Greeks' morale and like energy and like their health and everything. You're like, no, dude, like let things just happen. Like that's what Zeus said. Is like things are just gonna happen. They're gonna play out. We're gonna let them play out. Like they can't let go of things,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, even after he was like, he went up to Zeus, was like, hey, dude, they built this wall without like sacrificing to me. And then all of a sudden he's like, I want them to win.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah. I thought weird. Beta. No, I'm just kidding.
How about you guys? Favorite characters?
I don't really have a favorite character.
I do like Ajax. He's been fucking killing it. I took a photo of this part of the book where he said, "My friends," he cried, "be men and fear dishonor. Quit yourselves in battle so as to win respect from one another. Men who respect each other's good opinion are less likely to be killed than those who do not. But in flight, there is neither gain nor glory." He's dropping bars while he was whooping ass.
Yeah, Ajax is that guy, dude. Yeah. One honorable mention I want to mention is Patroclus, right? He gets stabbed in the back by that young Trojan warrior, and that kind of takes a little bit of the honor from Hector, who actually kills him. And he goes, at the end, he's like, "You were only the third person to actually get me. You didn't even really kill me, dude. Like, it was this guy over here. So it's not really an honorable kill, but remember this: Achilles will kill your bitch ass."
Well, it's kind of fucked up that like he originally gets hurt from the back.
Right.
Dishonorable way to die, and maybe that's like part of why he died that way, because he was using someone else's identity as to be a hero, so maybe he died unheroically because that's the way he chose to live,
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I agree. When he died, he like ended up placing a curse on Hector, and then like Hector says something like, "Bro, we winning the whole war. You just died. Shut the fuck up." That's like pretty much how he summed it up.
Right.
He's like, "Yeah, him next." So yeah.
All right. Any predictions leading into next week's readings?
I'm still
They're gonna die.
Yeah, they're gonna die, but they won't give up.
ChatGPT keeps hallucinating and keeps telling me that Achilles is gonna enter the war, and I'm like, no, Achilles enters the war, and I'm like, he hasn't entered it yet. They go, "Oh, you're right, but he is getting ready to."
Yeah. Like even in like book 16, when he's like debating on how he should kill Patroclus, Zeus being the guy, he goes, "Not now. He'll die after they push the Trojans back towards the gates." And then Homer he's even reading it like he's talking to them. The way he's writing, he's like, "Oh, Patroclus, how you died," and but Hector's days are numbered as well. And so like there's a foreshadow of like, okay, Hector is gonna die.
Yeah, it seems like for sure he's gonna die.
And we're on the back 8 here. We're on the back 8. So we've got only 8 chapters left in the Iliad. So about a month left of reading.
Yeah, I thought he was gonna get killed in book 15, where he gets fucking hit with that.
Oh yeah. Okay. You know what's funny? They show a lot of people picking up rocks and throwing rocks throughout this world. There's a lot of rock throwing.
They want like boulders, bro. It's like fucking
boulders.
Yeah.
It's stronger than the actual sword.
No, like literally, like they go out there without weapons. They go, "Where's my nearest boulder?" That's like how all like the big deaths go.
Right.
Yeah.
Thinking about it though, I don't know how many rocks are on the beach.
Well, yeah, I don't fucking know. I don't know, dude. I don't know.
Coming from a geologist, it's gotta be an interesting beach if there's rocks on it.
They're picking up big ass boulders out of that sand.
I'm throwing sand, bro.
Sand in your eyes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Dude,
all right.
the part where,
huh?
No, then I was just gonna say like the part before he smashes Hera. He's like, do you not remember how I loved you more than this woman?
Yeah,
even this woman, and then this other woman,
and
this other god, even that one, and then this. He just kept going. It was like a whole paragraph of all of the women that he's been with. He's like, even you more so.
It's just like, I gotta let everyone know, like, I got game. All right. Like,
Yeah.
I had to put it back out there in case anyone forgot. I'm him.
Yeah, he's like, I want you so bad right now more than this chick and that chick and this chick and that chick.
And I've had all them, and I still want you.
Yeah, you're my wife, and I still. Crazy, man.
Yeah, literally anybody else.
For real, man. Sheesh. All right. Anything else to add before I take us out of here?
Nope.
Inception. Nope.
No.
All right.
Wait.
Well, thank you guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to another episode of Paradyme Podcast. We hope you enjoyed the show. We hope you're reading along with us. If you are, drop a comment down below. What's your favorite book from this week's reading? Books 13 through 16. Who's your favorite character? And is there any interesting lessons you picked up from this week's reading? Before you take off, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment down below, hit that little bell so you're notified every time we upload a new episode, and follow us on all our social media platforms. All the information you need will be down in the description box below. Before you take off, always remember who you are now equals who you'll be tomorrow. Peace. Have a good week.